And I continued studying with Dr. Huggins. And it did take me probably 3 months before I was emotionally prepared to take out my teeth. It was either keep the teeth and die of leukemia, or take out the teeth and take a chance and live a longer, happier life. Well, I took the chance and I decided to get my teeth taken out and my 18 mercury fillings. When I did that in January of 1993, my brain fog disappeared overnight. My leukemia took a lot longer, 3.5 weeks. That is a lot longer. That's more than 21 times longer. But I was very happy. I was especially happy, believe it or not, about the brain fog disappearing. Because when I was a kid, I couldn't read a sentence without going back to the beginning again and again and again. I couldn't read a paragraph without going back to the beginning and reading the paragraph again. In 3rd grade, I was put in remedial reading. I never graduated from remedial reading. I was in remedial reading through junior high school, and then college. When I got to college, they told me that I did not qualify for English 101 because my reading comprehension was so poor. So they suggested that I take a remedial course, which I did. They also made the recommendation that I take the Evelyn Wood reading course. I took that course twice. So I learned how to remove my finger, just like that, and how to read very quickly. Still had no comprehension, but I learned how to read. That's the main reason why I decided to become a music major. Musicians don't do a lot of reading. We see music, but we've seen it all before, and we get plenty of opportunity to practice when we have to do a performance. So I was very happy in my music world. When I decided to become a dentist, I was really concerned about the reading issue. I talked to a friend of mine who was a dentist, and I told him about my problem. He assured me, "Don't worry about it, Blanche. Dentists don't read either. They memorize a lot of stuff, and you've got a high IQ, so you can memorize stuff, but don't worry about the reading." Very good. So I did go to dental school, and I got through dental school. And it wasn't until 1993 that I could read a whole paragraph and not once have to go back to the beginning. My comprehension is so good now, and my reading is so good. I usually read about 6 books a week. It is incredible. I was so excited. I couldn't wait until the clinic opened the next day to grab Dr. Huggins and say, "Dr. Huggins, I can read." He kind of looked at me funny. I probably sounded like Gomer Pyle. He said, "Of course you could read." I said, No, you don't understand. I can read. I couldn't read before. I always had this kind of droning in the back of my head. And when my fillings were taken out, the droning disappeared. Dr. Huggins said, "Oh, that's great news." I said, "No, it's more than great news. I'm going to spend the last 2 months of my life reading." And he said, "Oh, don't be silly. Your cancer is going to go away too. You'll see. And he was right. I didn't believe him at the time, but he was right. It did go away. And so that's the reason why I'm so passionate about biological dentistry. I think dentistry has done people a tremendous disservice by not giving informed consent, by not telling the patients, "This is what we're putting in your mouth, this is what it can do to you. Do you want it or do you want something else?" That has never happened in the United States, or any other country for that matter. And I'm a firm believer of informed consent. I also believe that patients should not have any metal in their mouth. Now, I once heard a colleague of mine say, "Wait a minute, Blanche, the truth is, there's no such thing as non-metallic dentistry." Ooh, he got me there. Now we're being really picky. Because even in the plastic composite dental materials that we put in people's mouths, there's always the smallest little part of iron oxide that is used for coloring. Otherwise, everybody's teeth would be paper white. That would look really strange. We would look like we were in a discotheque all the time. So I have to concede that even the composites have a very small amount of iron oxide in them. But The rest of the dentistry is really non-metallic. So why am I so concerned about non-metallic dentistry? Well, because as I continued my studying, and I went on to Capital University in Washington, D.C., received after 2 years of studying a doctorate in integrative medicine. I learned a lot about the meridians in the body. I learned a lot about Chinese medicine. I learned a lot about the energy flow in the body and how things in our environment affect that energy flow. That's when I decided that people really shouldn't have metal in their mouth because it will affect the meridian that goes through the tooth. So what do I mean by that? Well, the Chinese, 6,000 years ago, the Chinese had developed the meridian system. And so they knew that there were major meridians and minor meridians in the body. For instance, there's the heart meridian, there's the gallbladder meridian, there's all kinds of different meridians. They all have English names and Chinese names. Every meridian in the body runs through a tooth. So if you have metal in the tooth, it's going to affect the meridian. The meridian will have to accommodate itself or lose energy. Now, there's some of you out there saying, well, wait a minute, Blanche. You have earrings in your ears. Huh, that's right. I have a little bit of vanity in me. I love wearing my earrings. But when I go home, the first thing that comes off are the earrings. The second thing is my bra, but the first thing that comes off are the earrings. And so when I'm sleeping at night, my meridians get a chance to restore themselves through that acupuncture point, through that meridian point. As it is with your teeth, if you have metal in your mouth, you can't take the metal crown off at night and put it on your night table and allow the meridian to restore itself. It just doesn't happen. So that meridian is always out of balance. I have tremendous respect for the energy fields of the body. The truth is we are energetic beings. We are more empty space and electrons floating around than we are stuff. The more you study, the more you'll realize that that's very, very true. So this is why I'm so passionate about biological dentistry, because in biological dentistry, we make sure that anything we put into your mouth is not going to make you sicker or not going to make you sick. And so that usually means dentistry that is non-metallic. We want to do work for you that's going to make you healthier. We want to do work for you that puts no stress on the teeth that you do have. And that is my philosophy. I don't believe people should have metal in their mouth. I don't believe that people should have dead teeth in their mouth. I don't believe that people should have holes in their teeth or holes in their bone. And if those are there, they should be repaired. That is my philosophy. And if you'd like to learn more, check out my website, www.drblanchegrube.com.